model. But I see myself for the first time in the position of trying to acquire my first co-living. So I went through both of the courses in Sub 2, co-living
Mhm.
101 and 201. By the way, thank you so much. The content there is amazing. I feel like I learned like I've been getting years of knowledge from you guys.
Oh,
So
thank you.
yeah, extremely valuable. So appreciate you guys for that.
Thank
So
you.
right now, um, I I started looking for a property. Everything started because I had an opportunity that it was good to turn to co-living. My partner and I made an offer on that, um, and they decided to move forward. It seems like they had a stronger offer, and they moved forward with that one. And I've been looking to another deal who is already a co-living. It's a 7 bedroom. It has potential for an 8 bedroom. The seller might not be the most motivated, so he's expecting like a what I consider is a high purchase price. However, the business is ready, is making money since day one, because it has tenants on it. Tenants are not planning to move anytime soon. So I have some questions. So how much value you should give to that versus buying another house that you have to turn actually into a co-living and you have to wait until it's filled out. Um, when it comes to underwriting, to know what is fair to offer or what should be a number that we should go after, uh, taking in account that the property is already filled out and producing money.
Yeah, I think it comes down to, and Luke, any ideas to come to you, jump in, but
Yeah.
ultimately it's comes down to like cash on cash. So if it's, or I guess the quick way to look at it is you probably remember hearing us talk about like that 2% rule. So that'd be the first lens of looking at it is like, is this thing a cash flow monster? Like, is it just an ATM? And obviously, like a high quality atmosphere for the tenants, like it's just an A plus all around the board. Or is it, so like, for example, if it's a $400,000 home, is the gross rent pulling in 8 grand a month? Or is it closer to like 5 or 6 grand a month? And then that would, for us, typically dictate how aggressive we want to go or how justifiable going with a high purchase price would be, especially if it's above ARV.
So the good thing is like the owner, he's open to seller finance. He has no mortgage on the property. So meaning that we're not buying sub to, we're not tied to a specific interest rate. We can literally put a deal with them. The comps for this property in the area are in I don't know, around 350. This is a great area for co-living. It's not a desirable area part, it's not a desirable part of town, but for co-living is very effective because it is an affordable area. Is in a close to major intersections. Uh, there's a reason why this house has been always filled with tenants.
Do you know the monthly revenue?
The monthly revenue is around 5,000, between 5 and 6,000.
Okay, and where is this exactly you said?
Is in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Okay,
And he's going to do 100% seller financing.
He's open to do it. I mean, he wants some money down, obviously, but he's
Sure.
open to. We have some money to put down. I just want to, I guess, because my lack of experience, right? The way I'm underwriting this is, I want to ask for a reduction and all this. He wants 550 for the house. Comps in the area are around 350. First of all, there's no comps with 7 bedroom. There's no 7 bedroom house in all that area. There are some 4 bedrooms that might be convertible to seven, right? And those houses are around the 350. Now, this house is completely renovated. It looks very nice inside. It's already turned into a co-living. It's already filled with tenants. It's producing money since day one. So my question is, those things have value, right? Because it's a loan that I don't have to pull to renovate the
Is he
property. I
trying to
don't have
get a
to deal with.
balloon?
He will probably want a balloon. So this is the thing. He's been a pad split investor for some time. He actually owns a few pad split properties, and now he's 60 something. He's ready to retire. He doesn't want to sell all of his assets at once, but he's ready to start letting some goes. And this is one of the properties he wants to let go.
Yeah, so really it's
So
going to come down to what your risk tolerance is. All right, let's say what is the worst case scenario? So that's why I asked about the balloon. Because if there's no balloon, then it's more like you're just in it for the long game, and the only way you could really rationally go with that is if it's like 0% interest. If what you're saying is accurate, if the comps are 350, but he's asking 550, like typically the highest premium that we'll see it go above ARV is like 10 to 15%. So like maybe 400K. So personally, I mean, if you really, really, really like it for more variety of reasons other than monetary, you could go for it. But I would say unless I don't know, something it seems like you'd be pushing it basically. 400K, maybe 425 based on what you're telling us so far.
yeah,
Otherwise, you opportunity costs. You could buy something else and in the 10-year horizon be way better off.
I wanted to start by offering 385. So and expecting that he will counter so that we can get probably in the 400s. I wouldn't go above 400, but I just wanted to double check with you guys because I've never been through the struggle of having to manage a construction team. I know it can be stressful. Construction can take longer than expected, and then you have to refinance all that, and probably it's going to be like a way higher rate than when I could probably negotiate with them. So for me, being able to bypass all that, how much value would that bring compared to whatever is the actual value of the house?
Because part of it too, like, all right, the first is if there's a balloon, if you're too upside down, you'd have to have some sort of clause saying about giving you a 1 year extension until it can appraise at a value that you can refinance. The other part too is if you're at $200,000 above ARV, you might start running into weird insurance issues where insurance would be like, they'd almost think it was a scam of some sort. Like you're trying to get, $500,000 coverage on a $300,000 home. So you just want to look into that too.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would say dig into the balloon. I think that's going to be the main lever that the balloon interest rate, like what his motives are, like timeline. Um,
I know he
Otherwise,
wants to avoid taxes. He
yeah,
wants to
so
avoid
maybe
capital
no
gain,
balloon.
which is that's why the the seller finance came to play. I was like, okay, so you'll be open to seller finance and start getting payments instead of like a lump sum amount. And he's like, oh yeah, yeah. I just don't want. He self-managed this property, so
Yeah.
he just want to get rid of one property that he wants to manage, that he has to manage, and but he's open to keep having a sort of cash flow out of it. So that's why I said, well, maybe we can put something together where I can making a payment when I'm still comfortable. I'm getting enough cash flow, and he's also getting some money without. It's going to be less money, obviously, but he doesn't have to manage it. He doesn't have to worry about that. It's just
Yeah.
whatever it is. It's clean money. Oh, by the way, that leads me to another question. Is like usually, what's the minimum cash flow you expect on a deal? Like you say, like okay,
1,500.
how much?
So when we say cash flow, like we mean a true net cash flow after all expenses,
Yeah,
including
yeah,
mortgage,
exactly.
and the
Yeah,
minimum's 1,500.
1,500. Yeah, that's exactly the number I'm using. So
Oh,
I will guess. Yeah, I'm building my numbers out that. So after all the expenses, I want to make 1,500 to know that is a good deal for me, and whatever is left now, that is what I know I have to play with when it comes to coming up with a payment for him.
Yeah, yeah. So I
Mhm.
guess the main recap that I wouldn't go above like 15% ARV. If you are starting to go above that, like you need next to nothing on your interest rate. Otherwise, then I think it's more like one-itis.
As a plan B, I'm looking into because I say, okay, what if we have to go like a different route in the future, right? After we purchase the property. So I'm looking into Section 8, which I've heard that here in Las Vegas for the 4 bedroom house is I think it's like 2,800 right now, and I think it's an extra 15% for each room, which that would be an extra 45% because this house currently has 7 bedrooms, and I think that's actually a more like it might be a smarter way to go because that way I don't have to cover all the utilities. So whatever I'm
Yeah,
making
I don't.
is clean.
Andy, when you say Section 8, are you, their family would have to be huge to be approved for a 7 bedroom.
Yeah, that might be the
And it would
hurdle there.
destroy your house. Now, I'm being
Yeah.
judgmental, but
Uh,
it would.
yeah, I mean, everything has its pros and cons, but you made a very valid point. Section A, I will have to wait for a family of that size that they actually need a house like this and they qualify for that voucher. So that will be the downside of Section A. But I'm thinking, even if I bought this property from this guy, right? The property has already tenants. The property is producing money. So I can, during the period that this property is producing money with pad split, I can be looking into the Section A thing and see if we got a good tenant for that property that has a voucher approved for like a 7 bedroom house, which I
Yeah,
know it's
Andy,
not
I'd
gonna.
say just so we can rotate on the next questions, I'd say the next steps are I would definitely get it and present a few offers in writing to him just so we can nail down that ARV and then just make a couple like seller finance 10 years, 3% interest, or depending how much you want to go below his asking, mess around with that interest rate a little more. So it's like the higher your purchase price that you're offering him, bring that interest rate as low as you can, 0 if you want, and then bring it back Tuesday if you want. But yeah, I would say 10 to 15% out of all of what we discussed. If you're starting to go above 10 to 15% of single family comps, you are for sure in the area of like trying to force the deal.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, Dustin.
Yeah, man. Thanks for jumping on.
Of
Yeah, bring
course.
it Tuesday if you have new info though.
Yeah. I mean, if you're open to it, I can next time I can pull up the spreadsheet I have and we can go through the way I'm on the writing it. If that would be a
Uh,
good case scenario for everybody.
how about this? We circle through Tiffany and Kalota, and then we come back to that.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. How's it going, Tiffany?
Hey, what's up?
What's
Dang.
new?
Um, so I'm a super newbie. And I just finished today, or I just got through on the semesters 201 where you guys did the 90-day plan for getting started. And it was super helpful. So I had just a couple questions. The first one is very easy. I'm looking for the underwriting calculator and I can't seem to find where it is since I wasn't live on the Zooms. I don't know if you have that available or if I'm just missing it somewhere in the semesters.
Yeah, here I'll drop the link, but it should be in Kajabi too,
Okay, I've been
like the
looking around. I
resources.
can't seem, I might have just overlooked it somewhere. So that would be really helpful. Um, So the other thing I'm thinking about, because we had spoken a little bit in one of the meetups recently, I'm trying to figure out what you guys' advice would be about for like pre-first deal, really just getting into learning about sub two the last couple months. Do you guys think that just trying to right now like go at it like without I've met people but not like well enough that I'm like, yes, I trust you to work with you, you know? And I know I've picked up on that that's pretty important. Um, should I go kind of in the direction of let me just get my own first deal, or should I go in the direction of let me find people to work with since I'm new to every part of this? Because those seem like similar paths but different as far as what comes first, or what I need to focus on first. I like really need to figure out what one thing to focus on first. So I wondered if you guys had any advice about that.
What do you think,
I
Matt?
like I like the old saying of if you want to go fast, go alone, and if you want to go far, go with others, right?
I like
And
it too.
you could do this on your own right away and start trying to pick stuff off, or start working with people and kind of build out a little bit of a team. um, I also like the concept. We do this when we are talking to new people or bring are building a team, is kind of give somebody a task and see if they can do it well before really, starting any kind of true partnership or something with them. Or do like a 90-day agreement or 60-day agreement and say, we're going to work together. Here's your role. Here's my role. Exactly laid out what we're going to do. So in this case, maybe somebody goes out and finds a deal, and then the other person is going to negotiate, or whatever the case is. We're going to work together for 60 days and see how it goes. And then if you guys gel and work well together, then you can try something, bigger or build it out. And if it doesn't, then no harm, no foul. You just try again. I mean, when it comes to building a team, there's some trial and error to it. Do you know
Sure.
anybody else like personally in Sub Two that you've known for a
Um,
while at all? Or
I joined by myself, but I have connected with quite a few people. Not, I guess I have connected with some in my local area. I'm in a smaller town in Florida. So more in when I've gone to other bigger events. So I could do that. In that case, would it be like we're not necessarily going to say we're going to accomplish getting a deal done together? We're just gonna do some kind of pre-work to see if maybe we do a deal together.
yeah, like you don't have to necessarily close a deal, but you see how you guys are working together through that process of initiating it. Right, you're going to
Okay.
know fairly quickly whether or not you gel or get along. Oh, and then you could maybe even JV on the first one or two deals rather than
Right.
starting an LLC or anything like more permanent.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And speaking of that, really, really quickly, um, I have gained from talking to some of you guys. I think Dustin gave me some good advice. And just from watching Pace, it seems like for like JV kind of or wedge deals or whatever, what I would do is either find deals or find cash to bring to a deal to offer. And so. I know for if I'm gonna look for deals for others, then that'll be just looking at people's buy boxes and going through whatever system they have in place to offer it to them. For money, how would I if I have people with money that I'd wanna people with capital that they like wanna bring to somebody else's deals. Is there a way to like look at different people's portfolios or like give them info about like you guys' deals since I don't have them going for myself right now? Like what info would I need to give them and how could I get that info if that makes sense?
Yeah. Well, so two things real quick. So one of Pace's mentors, his name is Ken McElroy, and he has a couple books. Fun fact, his books are banned in some prisons, his real estate books, because it teaches you how to raise capital and it dives a lot into it. Anyway,
Well,
but Ken McElroy, he says anyone has three different things. So like as you're seeking partnerships and stuff, so the first, you'll want to identify what you have and then what other people have. So the first is deals, the second money, and then the third, if you don't have either one of those, is skills. And skills can also be time, like time spent hunting things, stuff like that. And so you'll want to really think about what you have access to. And then as you're trying to find that either accountability partner or like earlier, you probably saw Prisco's on here. I saw in her name it had she's in top tier TC as well. You'd want to find someone where you're like, hey, I have access to deal flow, and maybe she has access to capital. Just like one example. And so in terms of vetting, I'd go about it like that. Those three.
Okay.
So deals, money, and then skills and time.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, what you're describing too is actually a perfect way to get the ball rolling in terms of like connecting capital. So like here's this deal we did, it's already closed, so like, or it's already funded. We're gonna close on it officially in like a week or something. Um, but that's like a pitch deck. You'd want to be able to show people a pitch deck, and then like the way we do it is we would give you equity and some cash at close for capital partners 50K and above that you introduce to the deal. And other people do it like that as well. It's something similar. But yeah, the sooner you can build your resume, I remember we were talking about in Tampa, and that yeah, it was the cafeteria meetup.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, you just want to build your resume, and then each property that you add, even if it's simply connecting like that, it's gonna make it a lot easier for you to raise future capital in the future.
All right. That's amazing. That's very, very helpful. Thanks so much.
Yeah, yeah, and I think I either told you or maybe I've said it, you heard it, but like the first few deals that I raised capital on, the terms were not ideal at all for me. Like we agreed to give all of the cash flow to the capital partner until he's paid off. And we agreed, I think on those, we gave him all of their appreciation. It's on three. So
Wow.
what do we do that now? No, but it did help get that momentum started tremendously.
Yeah, that's a good word. I'm looking into DSCR loans and figuring out should I be I it seems like I need a part of your 90-day checklist was go ahead and see what you can get approved for. And I think I probably could. And so
That's the
um
third, actually, I didn't hit on. If
what's that?
you, the other is credit sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like on our deals, people credit sponsor. Typically we're doing the new construction loan, just our team, because there's more qualifications to be able to do that. But then, yeah, the DSCR like will bring on credit sponsors as well. So they're wedging themselves in a deal like that.
Gotcha.
And what is that
That's one of
typically?
the best
That
that's one of the best
qualification?
ways to the qualification for a DSCR.
Hmm.
Typically, it's that you own one or two rental properties already, or have owned other real estate assets other than your personal home, although that can count sometimes. And then a credit score above 700 is typically the threshold. But it's possible, especially for us, especially as we start gaining better credibility with lenders and things, we can kind of skirt that a
Yeah,
little bit.
that actually reminds
uh,
me, Trevor Hicks wants a credit sponsor one.
all
He has
right,
one
let's do
house,
it.
but they do like dozens of flips. So it's like maybe that could work. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that'd probably work. But what I was going to say is credit sponsoring, if you can wedge yourself in that way, is one of the best ways to learn from the get-go, because you like have to be involved in every step of the process of the purchase or the build or whatever. And if I mean, Dustin can tell me no if this is wrong, but like if you were like, hey, I really want to credit sponsor the DSCR on a deal, then we can kind of bring you in and show you what we're doing a little bit behind the scenes as far as the construction and things like that too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's see. I think Audrey just snuck in here. Let's see. Audrey, are you joining us today? But yeah, Tiffany, if you want, after you dive into that, I think you have Luke and I's number. And do you want to talk more about the pitch deck or in general, credit sponsor, any of that? Just shoot us a text.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on. All right, Colata. Did I say that right?
You said it right the first time, and I was really impressed. You said Colota. And I was like, wow, that's all. I
Colata.
mean,
Lota.
like you said it perfect. Normally people say colada, pina colada, or coloda, not ta.
Lota.
Yes,
Mm,
calota,
I give it
calota.
that little bit of flair.
Yes,
mhm.
calota.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, good evening. I missed you in Houston. I was there and I saw you, Justin. I was
This is a
sitting
big
right there,
meetup,
but I
huh?
couldn't get to you. It was so
Yeah.
many people. I couldn't
It's like
get
a
to you.
thousand people.
Yeah, close to it for sure. But I'm same as Tiffany, really new, new to it all. And I have a focus on affordable housing. And so co-living, obviously, I'm starting to hear the term. I know it's not a new concept. It's just been excuse me. It's the term co-living is fairly new, but uh the concept is not new. And so for me, when I think, going into affordable housing and co-living, I wanted to ask you, is any of you working with any kind of rapid rehousing or stabilization programs? I was, interested in potentially going that route. And do you know of anything about, if you don't necessarily, I know I'm in a community where I do have access to raise money and, for partnerships. But have you heard of anything or doing anything in the way of like doing mass leases, starting out, for those who, may not want to go and borrow money, at this stage. So just kind of wanted to pick your brain on that. And I'm going through the trainings now. I mean, it's so many trainings. I just kind of started focusing on co-living. So I've been in my underwriting, kind of in that living in that area, but definitely want to transition over into co-living because it seems like you're giving some real valuable insight.
Yeah. What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The concept of co-living has been around for a long time, right? Typically think of like student housing or sober living,
Yeah.
assisted living, independent living, things like that. And so what we're
Boarding houses
doing,
is what a guy told me. He's old school
yeah.
realtor, and he was like, "Oh, you're talking about boarding housing." And I was like,
Yeah, well, I guess what we're doing it sometimes could be considered boarding housing, I guess in a way it's similar, but um we don't do any kind of technically I guess kind of ped split sort of does this, and Audrey could give a better example, but we're not doing master leases as far as when it comes to typically what you're talking about is like sober living or something like that, rehab type living. So we don't do that. I know there definitely are some people in the community that do. Um, Schaefer does, right? Dustin, he
He
does
does
some
sober
sober
living.
living. Yeah. Andrew Schaefer, he's an owners club, sub two. Maybe
yeah.
reach out to him for some questions on that.
And it's not
It's
necessarily
a,
sober because that's not my
yeah,
niche. Just rehousing in general for those who fell onto hard times. There's a lot of
sure.
COTs out there that has funding for uh, people and that meet that criteria.
I guess here's the question, because this is something we hear a lot about, like, especially lately, the past 2 months, it comes down to there's like this dichotomy of pad split versus master leases.
Mm,
Yeah.
And it all sounds great because it's like a triple net lease, right? Like Starbucks, Publix, all that,
yeah.
where we wouldn't have to worry about anything. But I personally haven't seen something scalable yet that you can like that we could just offload all our properties onto. We'd
Hmm.
have to like hire someone almost full time to spearhead it.
Yeah.
So my question, I guess, you is what is more urgent, your goal? Is it to replace an income or is it more impact investing? And then I think depending on that urgency, which one ranks above the other, I would order in that like operation of, okay, my goal is I want $7,000 a month, and then I'm going to shift to impact investing. And I'm
Yeah,
not saying you couldn't do both,
sure.
like you, but in terms of evidence or data that we have access to, pad split is how we are, paving our path forward because
Okay.
it's the most scalable form of co-living that we know of. And so I think that it really just boils down to that. If you want to scale faster sooner
Yeah.
and then shift gears, or just from the get-go, you're more interested in the impact investing.
Yeah.
And the master leases take quite a bit more work to get involved with those nonprofits and putting them leases together and all the
Yeah.
management that comes with that.
Okay. Well, what
Aubrey, what are your
about like
thoughts?
subleasing from like a tire landlord?
Like arbitrage?
Mm-hmm.
You could, but you are missing if you were to ask Pace, you're missing the most important parts of the real estate game,
Right.
like
The
Appreciation,
the
tax
debt pay
upside,
advantages
down.
and so on. Right. And
the
again,
debt
I
pay
think
down.
your question was very valid in terms of what is of importance now. And
Mhm.
really now is the replacement of income. I'm
Yeah,
like in full sprint mode trying to run away from W-2. And
yeah.
um and so that is pretty
Because like
critical for me at
here's
this.
the sheet I dropped earlier. I'll put it in here again. But in term whether it's like a couple minutes ago we were talking about, I think with Tiffany or whoever, like if you're either trying to sell deals like Bird Dog or wholesale deals, and you take the time, like this sheet isn't perfect, but it gets you 80 to 90% of where you need to be. You'll check it before you close on the deal and all that, utilities. But anyway, if you present a wholesale deal with like underwriting like this or some version of it, whether it's the buyer or you're raising capital, they're going to take you way more serious than if it's just like a loosely put together, text or email, like, or DM on Facebook. And so the reason I show you that in this context is you'll be able to get out of your W-2 a lot faster with Padsplit and then prepping
Yeah.
it with this, like
Okay.
prepping the sheet like that, saying, hey, this is the deal. This is the underwriting I have so far. And then you would want to check it a little more closely you'd want to investigate a local property manager that, assuming that you move forward, that's who would run it and say, hey, here are the numbers that I am thinking. Can you give me some feedback? Especially since they're local. Ideally, they have several properties that they can use as benchmarks to check it against. But yeah, I mean, if you find 3 to 5 high quality co-living properties and then source the capital, like you bring on capital partners,
Mhm.
maybe you're splitting it 50-50. Maybe your first two, you're giving them like 60-70% and you're only keeping a third,
Mhm.
but it's enough to get the ball rolling.
Yes.
You'll do it, in my opinion, a lot faster with Bad Split because you can also check the data too. You've probably
Yeah.
seen
Mhm.
in Kajabi, like it makes it a lot easier to present that to the capital partners.
Okay. Yeah, I did. I met Pat Split when they were here in Houston last week and
Hmm.
did set up a meeting with the local representative. I'm in Houston, by the way.
Hmm.
Do you have any one? I know that you all are doing some things here in Houston, but do you know of anyone in the community, the sub two community or the community in general that I could orbit with or do something in that, if I'm using that term correctly, that is doing pad split here locally?
Yeah, yeah. I would say first thought, Luke, that comes to mind is Jennifer.
Jennifer,
Thought so too. Um,
Yeah, like Jennifer, Fran. I know they're looking at a couple areas, but
what
it
was her
would
last name? I'm sorry, Jennifer.
here, let me put her email in.
Okay.
We won't do her number.
I know that I
She can
am.
decide. But
Mhm.
I know she's local, like we were hanging out with her. She's one of our capital partners on a few deals. Um,
Okay.
she's actually going to spearhead when we do our next project. I think 1%, something like 1% of the property or of the revenue is going to go to a specific charity. And like she's going to spearhead that part.
Oh, nice.
She also, Luke, do you remember the verbiage that she used? It was something like she's the chair of something charity related.
She's a director of, yeah, I forget exactly what
It
she
was
called
either
it. Basically, a
he's
director of like organization that works with different charities.
Okay.
so it could be a step in the right direction of what you're originally looking into.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, she is a active investor, real estate investor. Like she does a variety of projects, and she's a local in Houston. And yeah, she's smart, nice, definitely something or someone that you should connect with.
Okay. Yeah,
And
because
then
I go
her and
and
a few
see.
other,
I'm sorry.
sorry, her and a few other ladies are kind of forming a team also to do co-living. So could be good to just kind of see what they're doing
Yeah, I
and
would love that.
see if we can get involved.
I met a few people at the Creative Nation last week that also were interested in co-living, but they're just as new as I am. So I want to, make sure we have a mix of experience and skills and talent, knowledge, there. So
I
I
would say
just know
that,
that everyone in Houston's so quiet. I get in the chats, the Discord, no one says anything. So I'm like, I know we're here. It's thousands of us here in this fourth largest city, but we don't make ourselves known here.
well, here would be something. If you and Tiffany, the one who spoke just before you, for practice sake, every Tuesday, if you bring on one deal that you've hunted down, you've done underwriting on, we'll look at it together. Um, but like you see, there's like 20 something people on here. Eventually, you're gonna connect with someone that may want to tackle the deal with you, a capital partner, credit sponsor, because we also put these on YouTube, so like a few hundred people will watch it.
Okay.
And so just that repetition
Yeah.
is the a really good way to network and just like get your name out there. And then like on your name here, like on Zoom, if you put your email address or whatever you're willing to share,
Yeah.
like it just the
Right.
yeah, like Angela is in
Oh,
Houston.
nice,
There you
Angela.
go.
Okay.
Angela,
Yeah, and I
Angelica,
actually
meet
changed
Tiffany.
my Zoom. I don't know why it's still there because that's for a different, I have to remember who I am and where, I mean, what Zoom I'm getting into. But I did change it. I don't
Yeah.
know why I did show up, but yes, I do agree.
Oh,
Always,
perfect.
always be prospecting and networking. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's see, we got about 10 minutes. We're gonna
Yeah, sure. I
bring
appreciate
Lourdes
you.
up.
Thank you so much, both of you, Luke,
Yeah,
Dustin.
Of
yeah. So
course.
next Tuesday, we'll be
Okay.
looking forward to a property that you bring, and we'll
Yeah,
just
bring
deep
one
dive
on.
on
We'll
it.
check it out.
Got it.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Okay, thank you. All right, Lourdes, how's it going? Lourdes, you had the property in,
Ah, yeah.
was it South Carolina last time?
No, Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio. Okay, way
Ohio.
off. I remember it was the brick one
Interesting.
though, the
Yes,
basement.
Mm,
yes, it's the brick one. So I have two things very quickly. I don't want to take too much of your time. Yes, I've been just thinking about the co-living more and more because the house it's ready for Airbnb. And like you say, I have to add two more rooms in order for that to make money, in which I thought, but we in two rooms you have to add one more bathroom,
Hmm.
right? Because it has one and a half bathroom. So, do you think after I add this, because I called Pat's Place thinking like they can do everything, but they were just like, well, would you just have three bedrooms? And they were calculating according to three bedrooms. So I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Maybe I should get a partnership and just try to do this because one person cannot do everything. And then I found another. I mean, because I am just a one block away from the transportation area, grocery stores and hospitals and universities, and I'm just like, why am I lacking? You know, I'm doing something wrong in here because I have a huge backyard. I have a nice house. Something I'm missing in here, I don't know. So this is one thing. And the other thing is, I have another person just reach out to me in Columbus, Dayton, Ohio. No, Columbus, Ohio. Has 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, also close to transportation, and they are willing to do creative, you know, because he has cancer and he wants to move closest to their grandkids so they can take care of them. So I have that deal too in hand. So I don't know if any of you are interested in Columbus, Ohio area. So this is one thing. Yeah, so I'm a kind of little discouraged about this, like, this co-living. I'm just like, I'm doing something wrong. I know I'm doing something wrong, so
Didn't you say you had a balloon on it last time we spoke?
yes, the brick house, it's a
No.
Satu deal. Um, and it's gonna get in July, it's a balloon payment. So I will own 83,000 total, but there is $50,000 for the mortgage, which is 3.2 mortgage rate. And then I will own then all total, like for then will be like 33,000, 34,000 in cash for them. So I'm trying to stay just with the mortgage that they have, even though I told them that balloon payment will be this year in July. So I don't know how to do it. That also, I'm just gonna jump in. I need help how to rewrite it because I really want to stay with that nice mortgage. I know it's 50,000 with with I think $600 a month, the payment. And then I will only own then like 34,000 if I give them cash, which I have the cash to give them cash so they can have it all. But then I really want to stay with that mortgage. So, but I don't know how to go about and say, hey, can I just stay with the mortgage and give you that? I don't know. That's what I am struggling right now.
Lourdes, can we back up just a little bit? Because I don't know what you say you're doing something wrong. I don't have any idea why you think you're doing something wrong. It isn't renting. You aren't marketing right. Why do you say that?
No, I'm marketing in Airbnb, and Airbnb has been so slow for the first time in my years being on Airbnb has been so slow for me. And then I always work with Airbnb and Furnish Finder, and I always had luck with both of them. And that house has never been like empty, And right now, this is like the slow season. This is the only house that has been the slow season. So I don't know why. So I'm just trying to figure it out. So what's going on?
Let's see. So. I guess first question, this is a family friend, right? The seller or like the seller.
Yes,
And what does he actually need the cash, or that's just the original terms that you had negotiated together?
that's just the original term.
I
No,
mean, have you asked yet if he's open to extending?
no, I didn't. That's why I'm trying to figure out. Like, okay, I know he's a friend, and I don't wanna. I know I told him that I'm gonna have a balloon payment this July, so he doesn't have to have like an attachment with me. So, but I like his mortgage payment and his rate. I don't want to jump into. I'd rather pay him off whatever I own in, which that would be by that time I will own in like 33,000. So I don't know. Maybe incentivizing like a little more, you know?
Well, so one thought that has come to mind a few times is I know that the interest rate is really attractive, but I mean that is a lot of money to tie up into one property,
Uh-huh.
like especially the percentage, like how much cash is tied into one property in Dayton.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, it's like, or I mean, if you did refi, would it allow you to park that money in a whole other property?
Refinance with that one.
Mm-hmm. Because like at
I
a certain
understand that.
point, there's a
Uh-huh.
crossover point where it's actually going to cost you more to keep that interest rate because it's going to tie up a lot more capital. versus getting, you know, a 6% DSCR, but now you have two properties. Now I'm just like generalizing
Yeah,
significantly,
but I
but
guess
there
yeah,
is you see where I'm getting at?
I think so. I'm not sure about refi. I mean, I'm not knowledgeable about refinance. That's why I'm just lost about this.
How
You
much
know,
equity would be tied in? Like if you have to pay him off cash, how much, what's the value of the home? And then what would be the mortgage balance? You said 50?
yes, the balance will be 50 in July and probably less. Because right now it's 50. So by July probably less. So the
And
value of the
then,
house right now, I didn't check, but the last time I checked was last year was 180, but I didn't check this year. So I don't know.
so it's like, is it worth keeping that much cash into one property?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like the interest rate is attractive, but I mean, if you could have two properties instead, and then like when you look at it from the lens of 10 years, two
But
properties,
that
like the
sounds good.
growth.
But I mean, this house I cannot like I don't have hardly any like guest, you know? Like
So it's
no
declined enough
yes.
that much. Okay, and
Yes.
then the next part then is in terms of the bathroom, when you have you said it was 1.5 bath, not one?
Yeah, one and a half. One full bathroom upstairs and just a toilet and a sink downstairs.
Okay.
That's it.
Because I mean, generally speaking, like there's access to some plumbing already, where it could
Yes.
be easier to do like a stand-up shower.
Mm-hmm.
So you could get a quote on that instead of a whole other bathroom. Is there enough room in there to put a stand-up shower?
Mm, I don't think so. It's a tiny thing, so we will have to knock down the wall. I asked somebody to quote me, and they said they will have to knock down the bathroom. So, in order for them to at least put a stand-up shower like a regular one. So,
No.
But still would probably cost less than a whole new bathroom, right?
yes, for sure. For sure. So I don't know. I mean, that is the only thing. My major thing, I don't know if I'm lacking marketing, which is I'm putting Airbnb. All of the properties that I have, they are, you know, it's a slow season like any other season, but I don't know why is it hidden that particular property. That is for me just like I don't know. I'm just trying to think maybe because I kicked out one of the guests that had like 100 people and they were charging like $5 a person to get into the house, so I had to call the cops. It was a huge party, loud cars outside, and it was horrible. So I'm just like kicked out. You cannot do that. So and ever since Airbnb, like I don't know if they have slowing down. You know, they have damaged the property. This is the first time that happened to me in 5 years being Airbnb. The first time.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard Pace say it a lot, and then even some of the ones that we've bought and converted have been Airbnbs that stopped performing.
Um, can you hear me? I don't know. I got a phone call.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we
Okay,
can hear you.
perfect. So yeah, but I mean that is my only thing. I don't know if I need more marketing. I know I have to put a bathroom, and I think I need more brainstorming about like uh what can I do with the property, and I know it's in a great location. Um, put a bathroom, and then what I do next. Just try to divide for two more rooms. So, and like you said, refinance and just get another property. I would love to do that idea if this house is at least, you know, making like it was before 2,600 a month, you know?
No.
So I would do like, yes, and one, it says, yes, this house keeps going and going and going. And so, and then I would do that. But if it's not doing anything, what I'm going to do with two houses? So,
Yeah, well, I guess also don't look at buying that other house we started talking about until we figure this out. I would say, have you connected with Audrey or any other reps yet? Like in depth though?
Audrey? No,
Or like any of the pad split reps? Have you
Pad
talked
split
with them
rep?
a bunch?
no, I didn't. No, no, I called directly to pass split. That's it. Just the
Okay.
pass split and just.
Yeah, I would look at it. I'd look at it very closely. Here, we'll put Audrey's usually on the Thursday calls, not often Tuesdays. Here, let me find. This will go straight to her CRM.
Because
And then also, yeah, here, there we go.
it's put in the chat. Ah,
All right, so I just sent it to you.
alrighty.
And then here, I'll put her email. Yeah, I would look at it, like jump on a call with one of them and then look at it closely. I remember we did look at it because this brick, I remember a lot of the story. It was like, I guess 2 months ago or something.
Uh-huh.
All right, so I just sent you 2 ways to reach out to her. Luke,
Alright.
before we jump off, did we miss anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, and then Andy, I messaged you in the comments, Andy. If you email me your sheet, I'll take a look. We ran out of time today. But well, awesome. Appreciate everyone jumping on. Des, if you come next Tuesday with more info, we could definitely look at it, screen share. I remember last time we did some underwriting on it, looked at the, I think, bus stops. Like we did a decent dive.
Uh-huh.
And it was a nice house. But yeah, anyone that wants to look at properties, bring them any Tuesday.
Dustin,
So
could I ask, is there a replay of last Thursday's I had to do something. Is there a replay of that someplace?
Thursday we didn't have it because we were filming with Pace. So
Okay, so I
yeah, we
didn't
ended
miss
up.
it.
Didn't miss
No,
anything, Natalie.
Thank you.
no,
Well,
thank
everything
you.
is in the
Thank you for
vault,
coming on.
right? Everything in the vault, right, Dustin?
We have our own version of it, yeah. Not in the sub 2 vault, not this one, but yeah, Rocky typically we'll make sure Rocky gets this out,
Okay.
like how to access it. Perfect. All right, thank you everyone. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Thank you.